Hey everybody, happy Teensy Tuesday. It's Gianna. I am so happy to be back, healed, recovered, and excited to be making videos for you guys again. I know it's been a long while since I've made something kind of like this, so I'm excited to be back and I missed you guys so much. So I'm gonna get right into it. This video is gonna be all about how much money I spent when I went to AULANI. So last October of 2019, I got an opportunity to go to AULANI with my friends for Shannon's birthday. So it was 5 girls all together and we stayed for 8 days and 7 nights. So keep that in mind when I'm talking about like how much things were, because having 5 other girls there, we split some things, so just so you know. If you want to go to AULANI and you're like, I don't know if I can afford this, there are definitely some ways to spend less money for sure. So I'm gonna like try and help you with some of my tips during this video, but one of my biggest tips would be if you are able to travel with friends, because splitting the hotel room is a huge money saver. So right off the top, I'll talk about the 2 biggest expenses of the trip, which are the flight and the hotel. So my flight, I flew from Chicago to Honolulu, and it was a direct flight and it cost me about $550. I used the flight app Hopper. It is just an app on your phone that kind of tracks flights. If you don't use it, I would highly recommend checking it out. I'm not sponsored or anything, but I use that app for a lot of flights that I buy, and it's been very helpful. It'll tell you like if you should keep watching the flight, if maybe the prices will go down, if it's a good time to buy. And I was watching that flight for a little while, and I was tracking it on Google Flights as well. When it got down to $550, I went ahead and purchased it. It was the lowest price that I had seen, and it said that it was the lowest price that I probably would be seeing, and flights did go up after that. So I did think that I got a pretty good price. For the hotel room, of course, a lot of my friends are cast members, so we got a cast member discount. Again, huge tip is if you have somebody who is a cast member who is going with you, have them book it with their discount, of course. Just like if you're going on the Disney Cruise Line, you want to go with a cast member who can get you a nice discount. Now that's if you have friends that work for the company, or if you work for the company, obviously like that is the best way to do it. But if you don't work for the company or don't know anybody that works for the company, another great way to spend less money going to AULANI is going on non-peak times. So if you go on their website, there is a calendar that'll show you what the peak times are. I would avoid things like holidays and summertime, but there are cheaper times to stay there during the less peak season. So I would go ahead and look at those too. Between all 5 girls, we stayed in a 1-bedroom villa. If you've seen our Hawaii videos, you know I did a walkthrough of the room, and splitting that one room between 5 girls was about $700 for the entire trip. So all 8 nights was $700. So the first 2 biggest expenses were the flight for $550 and the room for about $700. So that's already a lot of money. So I'm going into this trip knowing that I had a little bit of a budget and I pretty much stuck to it. I wanted to spend a lot of time at AULANI, but there are so many other things to do on the island, so I'm kind of just gonna go through. I wrote down on my phone every single thing I paid for while I was in Hawaii. So I'm just gonna go through and talk about everything. Okay, so our first day in AULANI, I traveled to Hawaii and we checked into our resort and we went to Makahiki, which is the character buffet, for dinner. So the first day I spent $30 checking my luggage, because you know I need that big bag. We were there for a very long time and I knew I was gonna buy things there, and there wasn't really any opportunity to ship home. Well, there was of course, but it was expensive. So I paid the $30 to get my bag, and I think that it was well worth it. So that $30 for my bag, and then the other expense that day was the Makahiki Dinner, which ran me $55. And I can't remember if I paid with the other girls and got a discount or not. I think that that first night at Makahiki was not discounted. So it was $55 for me to have dinner at the buffet in AULANI. Day 2, we went around the island. We enjoyed some beaches. We got an acai bowl. We went over to the Waikiki beach area and I got an acai bowl from just a little restaurant. and that cost me $13. We went to a famous place to get mochi. If you haven't had mochi, Hawaii is definitely the place to do it. A lot of the Whole Foods actually carries the same brand of mochi that we got in Hawaii. It's called Bubby's. Caitlin used to live in Hawaii and she knew all of the great spots. Bubby's was some of the best mochi I've had. It was very delicious and there were awesome different flavors. So I got 3 pieces of mochi and that cost me $5. And then we went and did the best thing. This was the best part of the trip for me. Better than anything in Aulani, better than anything else, I think. We went to this restaurant in Hawaii called Opal Thai. It was a Thai restaurant. I did a whole vlog on it. It was so amazing. This place is like so well renowned, has amazing reviews. It's been on the Food Network. It was incredible. The chef like came to us, talked to us, and then like totally customized a meal for us. It was kind of pricey, but honestly, it was pretty much the best food I've ever had in my life, and that ran me $65. Day 3 is the day that we went to the Dole Plantation, and all of these days that we're driving around, that we're doing other things on the island, we were doing a rent-a-car. So we were renting a car through, I think the app was called Turo. I could be wrong, but basically we just like rented this man's car from him, and each of us spent a day paying for the car and the gas. So it wasn't my turn just yet. So I wasn't spending any money on Ubers or anything like that at this point. This day we went to the cafe at Aulani and I got a taro bagel sandwich and it cost me $13. The next thing we did was go to the Dole Plantation. I didn't pay for anything at the Dole Plantation besides my actual Dole whip, and that cost me $6.50. We tried to go stand up paddleboarding after that. We paid for it, but we didn't get to go until a later date, but I split it with one of my friends, Laura, and it was $10 for each of us to rent a board. We did end up going, we just didn't end up going that day, but it's written on this day. We stopped at a sandwich place on the way home and I spent $12 on a sandwich. This is also in my day 3 vlog, and I will link all of the Hawaii vlogs down below if you want to watch these days as you're watching what I spend. When we got back to the resort, I went poolside, I had a drink. The drink cost me $20 with my tip. And then later on in the night, I went to the cafe and I got vegan tacos for dinner, and those cost me $29. So the food at the resort is definitely pricier than the food outside of the resort, but still, for Disney prices, they really weren't outrageous, I didn't think. Day 4, I spent the entire day at Aulani. So I spent the whole day at the resort, and I started out the morning doing paddleboard yoga. I cannot stress this enough. This was through Aulani. So you just call the night before, you tell them you want to do it, they write your name down. If you know further in advance that you want to do it, tell them. It's a small 6-person class, so get in early. It was the best. It was so much fun. I wish that I did that every single morning. It was the most incredible thing. I think about it all the time. It was so fun. That was a $20 charge to my room. So that was $20 in the start of the day. And I did go to the Luau that night. So the Luau is pretty expensive in Aulani. It's pretty remarkable. It's some of the best food that I've had at any sort of Disney event ever, but the Luau did cost each person $145. So you get some pre-event things going on. I do have a vlog about it. I'll link it down below. Some pre-event things, a dinner, a buffet dinner, desserts, and then you get the show as well. But before the Luau, I did have lunch. I had shrimp tacos by the pool while I was reading my book, and for dessert, I had an olu cone. The shrimp tacos cost me $27 when I ordered them poolside, and the olu cone cost me $10, and that was just Dole Whip in a waffle cone with a little olu chocolate circle on it. Very cute. Highly recommend. Day 5 was Shannon's birthday, so we definitely splurged by starting out the day going to the spa. The spa, again, another thing in Aulani that is very expensive, but just as expensive as other Disney spas that I've been to. It was fantastic though. The amenities at Aulani are amazing. It's comparable to the rainforest room that's on the Disney cruise ships, except for this one is outside. Really amazing, and I cannot recommend it enough. That ran us with tip and everything, tax, $218 a person for the Lomi Lomi massage, I believe, is what I got. For lunch, we went poolside and got fish tacos. Again, those cost me $25. I think they're just different because I got them at different spots in Aulani every time. So the prices might run different. I know I got different sides, so that might have changed the price as well, but those shrimp tacos were $25. I did spend some money on merch that day. I did buy my Olu coin purse and a few other things that ran me $35. I got shave ice at the resort, the Mickey Head shave ice, and that cost $6. So again, not too pricey, but we finished the night at dinner at Ama Ama. It was Shannon's birthday, so we went a little fancier, and that is the nice restaurant that they have at Aulani, and the price does definitely reflect that. So our dinner, we didn't like put all the money together and split it. I got an appetizer and my dinner. I did not get a drink, and it cost me $71. And then I do have a vlog showing what I got. I think it was a tuna tartare, and then I got a seafood like soup. So that like helps it all. Day 6, I stayed at the resort all day. For lunch, I got a poke bowl, and that was again just in the little cafe. That was super delicious. I rave about it in the vlog. It was so good. And that cost me $17. And after that, I went to Rainbow Reef, which is a snorkeling place that Aulani has. So it's basically man-made with a bunch of fish in it, and then you can go in with your goggles on and your little vest, and you can swim with the fish, and it costs $25 for an all-day pass. So you can keep going back in and out as much as you want. I went in, I think, twice, and that was enough for me. And then at night, I went stand-up paddleboarding. It was an hour long, and it was the light-up paddleboard. And this is with Four Oceans stand-up paddleboard. Aulani is right next to Four Seasons in Hawaii, and right when you walk out onto the beach to the right, there's a little hut called Four Oceans, and that is where I got my stand-up paddleboard from. That was an incredible experience. I went right at sundown, so the sun was setting. It was so beautiful and just so quiet and serene out there and fantastic. I would highly recommend that. $50. Again, a little pricey, but I'm telling you, worth it, because when am I ever gonna do that again? So we're getting to the end here, and I think it's very important that I mention I put a lot of the things that I bought at Aulani on my Disney credit card. So I have a Disney Visa card, and I think that's super helpful because every dollar you spend at Disney, you get more reward points back to spend at Disney again. So that helps anytime I go on a cruise or Hawaii. I actually had a rewards card with about $250 on it that I used while I was in Hawaii that paid for a little bit more than my massage. So basically my massage was, you know, free. So it is very helpful if you do have a Disney credit card to be putting your purchases from Aulani on your Disney credit card. Just a reminder, I think that like helps me a lot. So day 7, started the morning with paddleboard yoga. I was obsessed, I loved it. That was $20. This day was the last day that we left Aulani, and we started out the morning at breakfast at the Luau Cafe. And my breakfast was $8. I got a vegetarian, just like vegetables and potatoes. And then we went to Giovanni's shrimp truck for lunch, and it cost me $14 for the garlic shrimp. I ate a lot of shrimp on this trip. We went to get shave ice, and that cost me $3.50. For dinner, I had a burger at this place. I believe it was called Three Brothers. It was so good. It was like kind of like a teriyaki portobello. It was so good. That was like in the North Shore area. That's where we were that whole day. So I think that the burger place was in that North Shore area as well. Definitely worth checking out if you are going over there. That was also like definitely one of my favorite days. That's the day we went cliff jumping. That was a super, super fun day. There was a lot to do at the North Shore. I paid for the car rental that day. So I also had to pay for the gas to fill up the car because you have to send it back filled. And it was $78 for my portion. So I paid for the rental all day and the gas. Day 8, for breakfast, we went to Makahiki, the character buffet at Aulani, and it cost me $41. So I think that breakfast is a little cheaper than dinner, and that's why it cost $41. I had an acai bowl from Aulani at the cafe. It cost me $14.50. It was good, but it wasn't fantastic. I would eat it every day, but it wasn't my favorite thing. And then I picked up some dinner at the Olu Cafe before I left AULANI to go to the airport, and some macadamia nuts for my family that they were selling in this kind of like cute AULANI box. And that cost me $38. And then I paid for my Lyft back to the airport, and that cost me $31. So my grand total for the trip, all 8 days, was $1,113. So if you take that and add the $550 for the flight and add the $700 for the room, the grand total for my trip to Hawaii was $2,363 with everything included. A big trip, a lot of money. Again, I don't go on crazy trips like that all the time. That was like a very, very, very big one. That was like, you know, a once in a lifetime thing. I don't know if I'll ever go back to Hawaii. It was so much fun, and it was such a great time. The opportunity to go with my friends and to see all of the merchandise. I just love Oulu so much. If you guys liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're into it, if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. Click that little bell, you know, get that notification every Tuesday at noon Eastern, because I am posting weekly. So I hope you guys liked this video. I hope it helps if you're planning a trip to Hawaii, or if you're thinking about it, or if you were just curious about it. I hope that this is helpful to you. So thank you guys so much for watching. Happy Teensy Tuesday, everybody. Bye.